is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. Well, 5 days a week we go, 2 hours a day we go, 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day out there, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Love coming out of you makes you happy. The whole world can love you, but that love will not make you happy. What will make you happy is to share all the love you have inside of you. That is the love that will make the difference. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 137, NASDAQ off 33, S&P's off 16, gold contract down $28, trading at $1,396 an ounce. Silver off $1.42 at $34.41 an ounce. Platinum down $50 at $1,702 an ounce. Copper flat at $4.18 a pound. Light sweet crude down $3.65, trading out at $98.50 for a barrel. Bonds up 21 ticks at $121.13. Dollar index up 3 ticks, trading out at 76.67. Euro 139.94. Yen down 88, trading out at 80.75. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do? We go to 1261. 1261, folks, got you into the January 3rd time frame. We do volume out here of 1.288 billion. You come down with monster volume. We're going to be right back down to these levels. Bottom line, get into that level. Nice bounce off the level, no doubt. 61 to 81. Dow Industrials. We take a look at the Dow Industrials. What do you have with the Dow Industrials? Excuse me. Dow gets down to a price point of 11,888.55. That area gets into the price point of the 2nd of February there. Has the volume behind the move. We're going to be right back downtown into that 11,696. And I'll get back to why we're going to be right down there, folks. This market is deviant, but let me tell you something. I'm going to walk you through how volatile markets move. The NASDAQ. NASDAQ gets down to a price point today of 26.18. That 26.18 takes you all the way back to December 16th. Closes at 26.67. NASDAQ does 2.3 billion shares. So bottom line, NASDAQ comes back. NDX comes back, right? What does it all mean? What it all means, folks, is this, is that you come down with volume, you're hitting swing points with volume. The bulls out there, no doubt, the bulls absolutely had no fear in them whatsoever today. And this is how you know. When you get a downdraft like this, folks, what ends up happening is that a downdraft like this is not over, period, until you get 2 nice downticks within 2 or 3 days of each other. Folks, we haven't even started. There was absolutely no downtick. In fact, you know what we got? We got an uptick. We got an uptick of plus 1426. That uptick of plus 1426 means that buying the dips came right in. They bought them, and you know what they did, folks? As they bought them, last 5 minutes in the market, they took them again. Now, let's go overseas. We take a look at overseas. The Nikkei last night, of course, was the big number. We were talking about the Nikkei, and what you have with the Nikkei is this. Nikkei last night is down 10%. Now, the Nikkei, folks, had come down into the lows, into the highs of the lows, which we were talking about yesterday, of October of 08. This is really important to digest, and this is what it is. That bar at 69.94 has volume at a low that has not been tested. Last night, It destroyed the top of that bar, which was the 9,000. And what that sets up, folks, is that it's going to go after the 6,994. That's how that baby is set up. So, if you're buying dips in Japan, be really careful. Because now what you have is that level will get tested. It gets tested with around the same amount of volume. You don't want to touch it. You want to let it go back up again. Comes back down the other side, then you can deal with it. Gold contract. Let's go over and we take a look at gold. We had with gold out here today. Gold got hammered. Gold comes down $29. We're at $13.95.80. We do volume of 227,000 contracts. What does that set up? That sets up a test down at the 1349 level, right down to that 1309 level. You came off the highs. You came off the highs with monster volume. That's after making a high on the March 7th time frame. That had gone over the December 7th and November time frame, failed on price and on volume. Silver, we take a look at the silver market. Same setup in silver. Silver comes off those highs with 97,000 contracts. Comes down, at one point we're down $2. And $2, just so you understand the silver market, folks, the future market, that's a $10,000 move, $5,000 per contract. We go take a look at the SPY, the SPY. What we had with the SPY does 305 million shares. Her swing point, by the way, she was going into was the 138 million shares. She just blew it away. She'll be right back downtown. She moved from 126 all the way up to 129.33, then sold off at the end of 128. Bottom line, you have a high volume low out here. We go take a look at the 4Qs. What do you have with the 4Qs? 4Qs, what the 4Qs did today, 96 million shares traded. Same type of setup. She was going into 90 million shares traded. She hit a low out there of 54.47. The 54.95 was the gap from, actually it's 54.21. And she went to 54.47. 54.21 is the gap. We came down there with 96 million shares. We go to the diamonds. You'll take a look at the diamonds. Diamonds blew apart also. The diamonds came down into the price. Well, let's see. We did 14 million shares. The diamonds were going into that 116.92, which would get you to the January 7th time frame. Don't forget, folks, this whole update that I do every beginning of the show, that whole update now with the charts is on YouTube. You can get our YouTube channel free. It's TFNN Corp. Now, if you had, we had a caller, K. Rico from Costa Rica. You know, he had actually called in, I believe it was on Monday, about a deep earthquake in Chile. If you want to hear that call, just go into breaking news because it's pretty amazing what he actually did say there. And first, we couldn't find the earthquake there, and then one of the tigers in the den found it. But it's under breaking news if you want to hear that because it's really just wild. Let's go to Dave in Clearwater. Hey, Dave, what's going on?
Hey, Tom, how are we doing today?
Doing great. You having a good day out there?
I'm having a great day out there.
There you
How
go.
about yourself?
Yes, sir. What are we going to look at?
Question for you. Symbol UTX, United Technologies Corporation.
Yes.
It looks like it bounced off a high volume, and based on your monologue now, I'm wondering if maybe I did the wrong thing, but it looks like it bounced off a high volume swing point going back to April 21st of 2010, and another swing point with a little lighter volume.
Of December 1st, right? Yeah.
Yeah, on December 1st, and it looked like that it came down and kissed it, and then started rolling back up, and I took a position on it. I was curious for your thoughts.
Okay, let's take a look. You get United Technologies. What he's looking at, folks, you did have a break topside on the December 1st, okay? It gaps away. The bottom of that gap, there is 75.27. We got to 77. It goes topside with 7 million shares, comes in there with 5 million today. What I would do here, Dave, I'd just move this out right now. You're already in the money. You know, this is not over by any means, man. You know, and what you're going to have is that this will not only come back down and get into that 77.05, but that gap's not even full yet. And then what you have below that, you have that 74.28. You know?
Yep, I saw that gap, and I was like, I debated on it. I'm like, well, we got high volume support on it, all going back to the April 1. But I'm thinking to myself, this downdraft is not over with yet, and I was debated on it. Hey, let me pay you a compliment. I called you last Friday about Verizon. And if you recall, your advice at the time was, well, Dave, depending on how the volume comes into that swing point, whether it's lighter or heavier, you might want to wait. But if it's lighter, your buy is 33.37, if I remember correctly. And if you look at Verizon, put on a 15-minute bar, the opening tick got down to 33.36. It didn't bite, but I thought about it. I was like, man, how awesome was that within a couple of times?
That's wild. Yeah, don't be biting yet. What you're going to see out here is this. That large tick today, folks, okay, is a huge deal, okay? When you get volatile markets like this, there's a couple different things you have to do on a continual basis. You get large expansions, you take your bread ASAP. You get the bounces. You're going to expect these counter-trend bounces, particularly if you've been in the market for a long time. You get the counter-trend bounce because of the way that buying the dip has basically worked over and over and over again. They're in here. They're buying the dip again. Bottom line is that they've been getting toasted buying the dip, and they'll expect that they're going to get it. But the bottom line is that, we're back to January 1st already. And each time they come in, you'll see how this works out. It just doesn't fly like that. When the volatility comes back in, and it was the uptick versus the downtick today. When that came in, I says, "Oh baby, we got action here, man." Because the uptick. See, what happens with an uptick, folks, is this: everyone was buying simultaneously. Now, half of that buy, or maybe more, was short covering because people weren't pulling their stops all the way down, which they should have, okay? But bottom line, that's half it. The other half, no doubt to me, are bulls going in saying, oh, no, the Fed's going to save us again. We're going to the highs. Bottom line, folks, we've come off the market. We've come off highs with volume. We've done it across the world. You got basically a volatile market, and volatile markets don't go away until the volatility goes right through the roof. And we don't have that yet. Cooking, brother?
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Have a great one, man. Have a safe one. Let's take a look at some of the high-volume stocks we had out here today. You had GE down 31. Microsoft was off 30. We had MetLife down $1.34. Apple, folks, is the name of the game. If you're trading the NASDAQ, all you have to do is look at Apple. Apple's done, okay? Apple's at 345. They've been holding it up. Well, when I say done, it hasn't broken the swing yet. What you had with Apple today, it tried to basically save the NASDAQ. It couldn't do it. The reason it couldn't do it, folks, is that if you take a look at how it operated right from the get-go, the first sell was a monster. Down at the 340, monster sell, 10-minute buy at 2.7 million. They waited right to the end of the day, and then they hit it again. Okay, it just went from 347, 345. Not that that's a lot, but what it is a huge amount inside the NDX 100 because all the other stocks have gone down because Apple represents 21% of the NDX 100. Apple only's got to move 10 points, folks, and the NDX will end up being down 50 points. We had the Dow finish down 137, NASDAQ down 33, S&P's off 14. You stay right there, folks. We're coming right back.